Mercedes Moné has finally spoken up about the controversies surrounding her run in AEW and the constant speculation about how much influence she really has behind the scenes. Ever since she stepped into All Elite Wrestling, there has been a growing debate among fans about her booking, her stature in the women's division, and whether or not she is quietly dictating outcomes. In today's coverage, we'll go through the allegations, the conspiracy theories, her comments on the matter, and the overall context of how AEW has handled her since signing her to a major deal in 2024. Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks in WWE, arrived in AEW with one of the biggest contracts offered to any female star in the company's history. Tony Khan made a heavy investment because he believed in her mainstream appeal, her proven drawing power, and her ability to elevate AEW's women's division to a higher level. While the early stages of her AEW run weren't completely smooth, she has found her rhythm in the past year. Moné has become a multi-title holder, collecting championships not only in AEW but also across various promotions worldwide. At one point, she was holding 9 championships simultaneously, a feat that reinforced her star power but also fueled criticism that she was being pushed far above the rest of the roster. This dominance is what sparked the fan-driven conspiracy theory that Mercedes Moné has creative control over her booking. The claim is that she decides who she wrestles, who goes over, and what stories she is involved in. Some fans even nicknamed her Mercedes Hogan, comparing her to Hulk Hogan's reputation for backstage politicking during his peak years. Memes and jokes spread online, amplifying the rumor that she was running her own show within AEW. But when addressing the matter in an interview leading up to AEW's Forbidden Door event with Scott Fishman of TV Insider, Mercedes Moné was very clear: she does not book herself, and she wrestles whoever Tony Khan decides she should wrestle. Her exact words were, "I work with whoever Tony wants me to work with. That's why I'm the CEO." While the phrasing raised eyebrows because a CEO typically has ultimate decision-making power, Moné insisted that her role in AEW is to follow the company's direction while contributing passion, creativity, and star presence. She emphasized that she trusts the booking process and enjoys collaborating with the roster. She also made it clear that one of the key reasons she chose to sign with AEW was the talent and drive she saw in the women's division. She highlighted names like Toni Storm, Athena, Chris Statlander, and Willow Nightingale, praising the collective energy of the division. Moné stated that the last year and a half has shown noticeable growth in AEW's women's storytelling, with more television time, more meaningful rivalries, and an overall shift in how the division is presented. In her view, AEW now hosts the best women's division in all of wrestling, something that was a major factor in her decision to sign. Still, not everyone is convinced. A section of fans remains critical, believing her success comes at the expense of others. Some point to wrestlers like Athena, who despite her undeniable talent, has not been consistently spotlighted on AEW television. Others note that while Willow Nightingale has earned fan support, she is not yet portrayed as strong as Moné in the company's hierarchy. Moné herself acknowledges the criticism but maintains that her role is about being a top-level star while also helping elevate those around her. The reality is that Moné is in the position she is in for 2 main reasons. First, she is undeniably a star, with mainstream recognition, crossover appeal, and years of top-level experience. Second, AEW made a significant financial commitment to her, meaning Tony Khan needs to maximize his return on investment. That means putting her in high-profile matches, giving her championship runs, and using her to draw viewers, whether fans like it or not. That is the business logic behind her positioning. It's also important to recognize that this level of dominance won't last forever. Pro wrestling always goes through cycles. At some point, Moné will drop her titles, step aside, and new stars will rise. But for now, AEW is capitalizing on her presence while she is one of the most talked about wrestlers in the world. Beyond the controversy, Mercedes Moné has continued to make headlines for her impact both inside and outside the ring. In 2024, she was part of AEW's biggest crossover show, Forbidden Door, where she competed in a high-profile match that attracted international buzz. She has also been involved in mainstream projects, including fashion partnerships and convention appearances, keeping her brand alive beyond just wrestling. Her presence has been a major factor in AEW expanding its reach to casual fans and even lapsed WWE viewers who followed her from her previous career. Recently, Moné has been vocal about the importance of women's wrestling being treated with the same respect and spotlight as the men's division. She has said in multiple interviews that AEW is making strides but still has room to grow. According to her, the increased match time, story depth, and promotional backing have been encouraging, but the ultimate goal is consistent equality in how women's wrestling is booked. She has also commented on her journey outside of WWE, reflecting on how leaving the company gave her creative freedom and space to reinvent herself. In Japan, she captured titles in NJPW and Stardom, proving she could thrive outside of WWE's system. That credibility is part of what made AEW eager to sign her, and it continues to fuel her global star status. As for the future, Mercedes Moné has hinted at wanting to wrestle some of AEW's rising names in big-time storylines. While she continues to feud with established stars like Toni Storm, she has mentioned in past conversations that she would love to work more with talents such as Sky Blue and Julia Hart, who represent the next generation of AEW's women's roster. Whether those matches happen sooner or later depends on how the booking unfolds, but Moné seems committed to balancing her role as a headliner with her interest in elevating new stars. It's also worth noting that despite criticisms of her mic work, Moné remains one of the most compelling characters in wrestling because of her presence, her aura, and the sense of importance she brings to any storyline. Some fans dislike her promos, some dislike her character work, but very few deny her ability in the ring. Even her harshest critics admit she is a world-class performer once the bell rings, capable of delivering big match moments that draw attention across the wrestling landscape. The debate around Mercedes Moné's AEW run will likely continue as long as she stays on top. Fans who feel she is overpushed will keep voicing their frustrations, while her supporters will argue that she is simply being used at the level she deserves. The truth, as with most things in wrestling, probably lies somewhere in the middle. She is not dictating every outcome, but she does have influence as one of the most high-profile signings in company history. Tony Khan would be foolish not to consider her input, but at the end of the day, AEW booking remains his responsibility. For now, Moné is doing exactly what she was brought in to do: bring star power, attract attention, and help AEW grow its women's division. She may not be universally loved, but she is universally respected for her accomplishments and contributions. As the company continues to evolve, fans will eventually see new champions and new storylines. But in the present, Mercedes Moné is the centerpiece of AEW's women's division, and that is unlikely to change until the timing is right. So whether you support her or criticize her, the fact remains that Mercedes Moné has reshaped the conversation around women's wrestling in AEW, from conspiracy theories to championship wins, from fan debates to mainstream recognition. She has been at the heart of some of the most talked about moments in the company over the past year, and while opinions may differ, one thing is certain: she is doing exactly what Tony Khan signed her to do, and AEW is making sure to capitalize on every bit of her star power while she is in her prime.